Good morning. Our chalice lighting this morning is by Gregory Pelly. And so we gather from the ebb and flow of our lives, thirsty for connection to others, thirsty for connection to ourselves, thirsty for connection to the larger life as we light this chalice. May all who gather here be filled with joy and hope, filled with compassion and love. Here may we be filled so that we may pour ourselves out into the world. My name is Ellen Vinzanti, and my pronouns are she, her. Our church shares a covenant that we make with one another, a promise that helps to remind us of why we gather and how we want to be with one another. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our covenant together. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service. Please remain standing for our opening hymn, "This Is My Song."
That song, and I love the sense that it reminds us of how connected we all are with people all around the world, different experiences, different lives. Some days the world's pain floods through us like water through a broken dam. Every headline, every cry of distress becoming our own. We come here thirsty for the wisdom to care without drowning, to love without losing ourselves. In the undertone and the undertow of others' sorrow. Come, let us seek together the steady foundation from which true compassion flows. My name is Reverend Pam Rumancik. I'm one of the co-ministers here with Reverend Karen Mooney. My pronouns are she and hers. And there's so much about me that you probably don't know, as there's so much about each and every one of you that I do not know. But we show up each week bringing our whole selves, knowing all of us is not only accepted, not only tolerated, but celebrated for the people we are and the love that we bring. We're doing things a little bit differently this morning, so now I'm going to invite our kids in Young at Heart to come up for our story for all ages, and we're going to think about what could be in our wonder box. sorry. Good morning, good morning. And no. Please.
I know there's something inside.
We have a couple of guesses of something. Yes, it's always correct. You're right. You're right. You think it's a gnome and a something. Everybody's, here's something, let me tell you. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to guess the wrong thing. Because you know what? Sometimes being wrong is what gives us the most exciting things to learn about that we didn't know before. Yes, no. A leaf is a good guess. Yes. A bottle of water. All those. Huh? I'm not sure what you said. All right. We have any other guesses out in the larger community? Oh, Nora, another one. A squirrel. It had to be guessed, didn't it? It had to. Okay. So, did you get to open the thing yet, Carolyn? You didn't get to open it? Okay, if you want to come. Carolyn, did you want to? Because I didn't think you did last week, or did you? You can come if you want. You guys have gotten chances. Come on up. If you don't want to, okay, come on up. Go around the front here. Okay, just pull that little thing up. There you go. What is it? Oh. It was something. You guys were all right. It's a bat. Huh? I don't know. Well, we're going to invite Reverend Karen to come up, and she's going to talk to us about bats, okay? All right. Guinea pigs, flying guinea pigs. That's a lovely description. Oh, there you go.
I have my mic. Well, it attaches right here, and way in the back, he put on the sound. Oh. It's okay. Don't you want to? So this is called Amara and the Bats. Amara really loves bats. Let's see up there. When Amara was very small, a bat got trapped in the attic of her old house. And Amara asked if she could hold the bat. Whoa. But her mom and big brother Samir told her they should wait for the wildlife rescue team. They would know how to handle them and look after the bats safely. When the wildlife rescue team arrived, they caught the bat carefully and held it very gently in a towel. Amara got to see the bat's fluffy face, beady eyes, and delicate wings up close. Touch the bat, go ahead. Some people are afraid of bats, but Amara, though, part of her, she could keep it at pet. The bat would be happier out in the wild, where it could fly around and be free. Ever since then, Amara has loved bats. Her favorite thing to do is collect all the bat facts she can find and write them in her notebook.
Mom, did you know that bats are nocturnal? That means that they are only awake at night. And they hang upside down sometimes, and they are the only mammals that can fly.
Amara and her family were moving to a new town. She was supposed to be packing up a room, but she kept getting distracted by more bat facts. Amara squeaked all around the house.
Samir, did you know that bats have a high-pitched squeak that we can't even hear them, and they use echolocation for their food in the dark.
I can hear you, Samara laughed. Amir and her family often watched the bats flying near their house. She knew that all kinds of bats lived all over the world, so no matter where they lived, she always would be able to see them. After they moved, Amara couldn't wait to visit the park in her new neighborhood to see the bats fly around at sundown.
Oh my gosh, did you know that bats eat insects and fruit, but some bats eat fish? They eat fish, and some bats, they even eat, oh my gosh, frogs and flowers. Frogs and flowers, they have the longest tongue, so they're amazing pollinators.
But when Amara and her family got to the park, there were no bats to be found. They asked the park ranger about the bats. She hadn't seen any in a while. We used to have a few bats nearby years ago, the ranger said. But it's just me working here now, and more of the land is being sold to make room for buildings. Amara felt a sad feeling in her tummy. She couldn't stop thinking about the bats and their habitat. There was so much that needed fixing. She felt as if the weight of the whole world was pushing down on her. What could she do to help? Amara, her mom knocked on the door gently. I unpacked the rest of your books, and your new nature magazine arrived.
It's one of the church magazines.
After she said thank you to her mom, she still felt glum. It will feel like home soon, I promise. Her mom placed the magazine and Amara's bat book on the bed and then gave her a hug. Amara opened her magazine and started to read. There was a story about young people to clear plastic from the oceans. And another story about a boy teaching people to connect with nature by writing a blog and fighting to protect endangered birds. She found lots of stories and videos online about kids taking action to help animals and the planet. Soon Amara realized that it could make a difference. So could she? And she had an idea. I wonder. Thank you. Did you get to see it? Yes? Did you? There you go. I wonder what about how kids work to save the planet and the animals. We're going back to our classroom and learn a little bit more now. Perhaps we can get our own bats to show us the way. And for you adults,
As the bats fly off, we'll remember the sacrament is an outward sign of an inward reality. And this is the time in our service where we accept the offering as an inward reality of how this church is made up of ourselves, the work of everyone's hands. And now we're going to ask Ryan to come up and introduce our offering.
Many of us dream of having a huge impact on our community. It's a challenge to have that impact alone, but together, with generosity of spirit, financial gifts, time, and love, we'll fulfill our mission. Together, we'll create a beloved community. Together, we'll inspire, heal, and belong. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Lovely, lovely way to begin. I guess I told you earlier it's going to be a little different, and right now we are going to do a commissioning for our lay ministry teams. So I'm going to invite all of the members of our lay ministry team to come up here on the chancel, including Ellen and Ken and Helen and all the folks. Yes, come on up. Thank you, Joy. You guys can sit over here so everybody can see y'all. That would be good, especially Ken. Lay ministers are church members who are trained to offer one-to-one caring and to support other church members in times of need. The lay ministry program is not intended to replace the role of ministers or professional counselors. They exist to support the pastoral care work of ministerial staff and to be with other members in times of need. And they do a whole lot to build a stronger community within here. Today, we are honoring Ken Bobby. He has served as a lay minister since 2002, and he was the coordinator and co-coordinator since 2006. We're going to say thank you, Ken, and I'm going to invite Joy Simon, who served with Ken for many of those years, to come up and say a few words.
It is with pleasure and a bit of nostalgia that we say a few words about our steadfast, dependable lay minister leader, Ken Bobby, of 20 plus years. He has been constant, keeping track of who is doing what, asking for information, and always supporting our efforts. He has an easygoing, comfortable leadership style. Although I remember one time, a couple asked us, well, they didn't really ask us, they gave approval to have their grandchildren and their daughter to come visit with them and stay there with them. However, they lived in this small little house. DCFS was going to visit to see if this house would be approved, and it was in deplorable, horrible shape. And so a group of us went and cleaned it and painted the whole first floor. And Ken was a little concerned that something would go wrong and we'd get sued. Do you remember that?
Of course, I don't remember a lot of things.
Anyway, it will be an adjustment for us to meet without him at the helm. However, he made sure to arrange for the very capable replacement in our very own Ellen Vinzani. I'm sure on the second Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m., Ken will be thinking of us, or maybe not. So, with pleasure, and I think Ellen has something to say.
Yeah. You know, as we all know, Ken is known for his puns. Oh, no. Puns. So on that second Tuesday of every month, we want you to be reading this if you're missing us, and we will be missing you. But also, meanwhile, you and Carol should go out for a very nice dinner from all of us.
I take it this is punishment, right? Yeah, over the years, working with people other than yourself, your predecessors, or some of them are in the audience here, and I really was looking for something 24 years ago when I retired, and stepped into this with Lois Hall was, as you remember, she was the leader, and I really enjoyed working with the congregation and with all of you. We have a great team now, and I feel we're probably in better shape without me, to be honest with you. But anyway, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Stay up here for one more minute, though, because now we're going to commission everybody to give hugs. Hugs are good. We are going to say that, as Joy mentioned, Ken is leaving some very big shoes to fill, and we are so grateful that Ellen Vinzani has been willing to step into them. This is a place where it's not only these folks, but everybody in the congregation can be part of offering care to one another. And so in the next couple weeks, we're going to have a table in Atherton Hall, and we're going to invite all members of the congregation to sign up to offer rides to people, to bake for memorials, to take meals to people when they're in the midst of challenging situations. We do this every so often. We have a list, but it's probably about time to renew that list. So if that's something that you would like to be part of, we'll set up that table and we'll invite you to sign up. Right now I'm going to say Ellen Vinzani, Barbara Griggs, Mary Johnson, Helen Moore, Joy Simon, and Chris Smith. And we have one more person who is joining our team, Becky Serpe. She couldn't be here this morning, but you will be meeting her in the weeks to come. And so we are going to ask all of you to commission our lay ministry team. I am so grateful for each and every one of you for your willingness to serve in this role. Can we have the words for the congregation up on the screen? Maybe. They will be there. We trust. As a co-minister of this church, I am very, very grateful for each and every one of you, and it's a delight to work with you. It's been a delight to work with Ken as well. I know we'll get to still see him. Well, I'm going to say the words, and you're going to repeat it after me. Today we call forth among us. Today we call forth among us. We place our trust in you. We place our trust in you. Asking you to sit with us in our pain. Asking you to sit with us in our pain. And celebrate with us in our joy. And celebrate with us in our joy. We ask you to be our spiritual companions. We ask you to be our spiritual companions. Witnesses to our lives. Witnesses to our lives. I, Reverend Pam, charge you, the lay ministry team, to listen with compassion to your fellow congregants, to care for yourselves and one another, and to tend to the sacred encounters that we all find, and to always remember to ask for help when you need it. May you know that your care is powerful. May you know that Karen and I are here to provide any support you need. And may you know that each and every one of you is enough. Repeat after me now. We now commission you. As our lay ministry team. For the coming year. Thank you for all you give. Thank you for all you give. Okay, and thank you so much. You can go sit down. There are, yes. This really is such a great team of folks. They just do stuff all the time, and it's wonderful. There are brochures out in the racks and in the office that you can pick up. And you might want to pick one up and just have it at home. So when you need it, it's there. And there's always a tab on our website. So if you have anything that's on your heart and you want to share it with the congregation, you can share it with one of these people, you can share it with the office, you can call me or Karen. Today, we have a lot on our joys and concerns list. From Elizabeth Van Orden. My grandmother, Beverly Severson, celebrates her 100th birthday on October 2nd. She's one of the most incredible, resilient, and loving people one could ever meet. She met my grandfather while attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison on a football scholarship and went on to Columbia University for her MSW while Dwight D. Eisenhower was president of the university before he was president. She spent her career as a trailblazing social worker, mostly working within the schools in the Chicago suburbs. And Elizabeth says, don't worry, she helped herself publish her first set of memoirs, and they're now working on a second edition. So that is awesome. We send our love and care to Lisa Christensen, who had her second surgery this week and is recovering well. Our love and healing wishes surround Lisa. And Siri Lauren shares that she lost her cat of 14 years, Honey. We know how hard it is to lose a beloved family member, and so our hearts are with you, Siri. On a happier note, Mary Janes is retiring from full-time work this week. She has been a paralegal with Walgreens for 18 years. Congratulations, Mary. May retirement treat you well. And then Lois and Jeff Phillips have just had a lot going on. They announced the birth of a tiny but healthy granddaughter, Hollis Sonia Hemberger, who weighed in at 4 pounds, 2 ounces. So we welcome Hollis. Lois also shared that her cousin Robbie is dealing with blood clots that may result in losing her leg. Robbie was flown to a vascular surgeon, and they're hoping for the best, even while Robbie's husband is dealing with blood cancer. Lots of love and care there. And then lastly, their Carrie granddaughter, Natalie, brought home hand, foot, and mouth virus home to the family. It's a virus, so all they can do is wait it out. Love and hugs to all the Phillips and all their connections. May this rainstorm of things pass quickly. We're also going to hold the entire Chicagoland area in our hearts this weekend as our president made good on his threats to order military occupation of Chicago. For all the citizens being deprived of their rights, for those brave souls who are out there demonstrating against this illegal and immoral act, for members of our armed forces ordered to turn against their own fellow citizens, and for each and every one of us who is watching the world shift before our very eyes. May our country survive this terrible downward turn and return to a place of freedom and justice for every single person. For these and all of the other intentions which we hold within the silent sanctuary of our hearts, know that you are loved, know that you are held. Please join me in singing Spirit of Life.
Spirit
The fun reading this morning, one of the fun readings this morning, is an excerpt from Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. A group of space travelers are suddenly stuck by an emergency in the galactic equivalent of a truck stop. Widely divergent in both experiences and species, they bond over common misfortune and learn ways to find empathy and compassion for folks they hadn't included in their us before. The conversation that follows is one of their bonding points. You know, on the subject of humans, there's something I've long wanted to ask someone about. Cheese. Is that a real thing? Pay erupted in laughter. Ugh, she said, stars. Yeah, cheese is real, unfortunately. Roveg was both delighted and horrified by her answer. Not really, he said. This was finally enough to coax Tupo out from under the table. What's cheese? Speaker cocked her head. I second the question. Oh, please don't make me explain this, Pay groaned. The Akarak leaned back in her cockpit. Well, now you have to, she said. Pay set down her plate and exhaled apologetically. Cheese, she said in a clinical manner, is a foodstuff made out of milk. Ulu blinked. You mean like... She gestured at her own underbelly where her mammary glands presumably lay beneath thick fur. Yep, Pay said, exactly that. So with children's food, Speaker said, her tone suggesting this struck her as no stranger than the concept of milk itself. Roveg laughed. Go on, he said to Pay, goadingly. He continued to snack, enjoying the show. Pay winced. No, she said to Speaker, it's not for kids. I mean, kids eat it too, but so do adults. Everyone present, with the exception of Pay, let out a reflexive sound. There were low growls from Ulu and Tupo, a short trill from Speaker. Roveg, for his part, let out a triple-clicked hiss. A brief cacophony of varied species, all communicating the exact same thing, complete and utter disgust. Wait, so how? Speaker made a hesitant face. I'm going to regret this question. How is it prepared? Pay grimaced. They take milk, they add some ingredients, and then, she shut her eyes, they leave it out until bacteria colonize it to the point of solidifying. The cacophony returned. I knew I'd regret it, Speaker said. Rovig laughed and laughed. I'm so glad I asked about this, he said. Have you eaten it? Tupo said. Not if my life depended on it, Pay said. I forgot the worst part. Pay rubbed her neck with her palm. They don't make cheese with their own milk. They take it from other animals. At that, chaos broke out. Thus ends the reading.
I loved this passage when I first read the book. Such a simple thing, cheese, but also a way to see how other beings might look in at us from the outside. We humans find many different ways to make folks other or weird, be it the things they eat or the clothes they wear, or the traditions they observe, or the way they see life. We often divide ourselves by culture or heritage foods, which is weird because food is also one of the great things which brings us all together. I mean, right now tacos are almost as American as hot dogs these days. Maybe a sanitized Taco Bell or Chipotle version, but still. I lived in what called itself an international city growing up, and remember the first time I had tacos for a fundraiser for Jimmy Carter, a long, long time ago. And I was terrified to taste it because I thought it was going to be too spicy. Of course, we decided we loved tacos pretty quickly after that. And I've seen some memes lately, I'm not sure if you're seeing them, that that says that if you're cheering on the eviction of immigrants, maybe you should stop eating at restaurants in cities that were created by immigrants. No more Mexican or Thai or Brazilian steakhouse for you. But I don't know, I think we should encourage all the cultural exchange we can, because especially sharing culinary delights help us to understand that we all need to sustain ourselves in different ways, and that even if it tastes different, we all share that love of food. We also know there are foods which gross us out at other cultures, just like the cheese grossed out the folks in the book. In Mexico, Esquimalt are ant eggs that supposedly taste like butter. And Shinan is a South Korean street food which is made with silkworm pupae served on little toothpicks. And I remember as a youngster, I was totally grossed out when one of my uncles would suck on, he called it studenina, pickled pig's feet, because he had Slovak in him, and that was a delicacy for them. But food also helps us bond together. It gives us something irrational to like or dislike. And the weirder things that we eat usually come from deprivations that people have had to endure, the way people survived by eating things, whatever was available. I mean, these days, some folks are totally grossed out by Spam, but I grew up eating a lot of it because it was the one protein that fit in our budget. Food is a good way that humans connect with people that sometimes we think of as other. When I was looking this up, I saw a BBC report that said nearly 2,500 years ago, it was the desire for exotic spices for our food which actually changed the world. As it grew throughout the Roman era and into the medieval period, it defined economies from India to Europe, giving rise to some of the first truly international trade routes and shaping the structure of world economy that can still be felt today. Food is significant. And in her book, The Galaxy and the Ground Within, Chambers uses food both to bring her characters together and to divide them. Because in her books, humans exist as this small remnant living on a fleet of vessels that they launched when the Earth became uninhabitable. But somehow the tragedy of losing their home planet brought some humility and the understanding that differences which seemed insurmountable when they were on terra firma did not serve anyone in the long run. This month's theme is compassion. It's related to empathy, but it's a lot more active. Empathy asks that we see the world through someone else's eyes, but compassion calls us to put ourselves out, to stretch, to even feel uncomfortable in order to respond and live in relationship with this big interconnected web of being. It begins with seeing beyond those boundaries that we've unconsciously grown up with and taking stock of who we are in this moment and asking if we are living into the fullness of who we might be. It's funny, almost everything we do that makes life better starts with knowing ourselves better. It begins with self-awareness and with understanding how we have been shaped by so many circumstances, by so many experiences, and how we respond to the world in any particular moment comes out of that particular experience of the world and does not exist in the same way for anybody else. I know I've shared the joke before about the two fishes swimming along and the older fish coming on and saying, "How's the water, boys?" And after a few minutes, one of the younger fishes says, "What the heck is water?" We often can't see the water we're swimming in. We don't question the origin of cheese because we like it and it's always been there, even if we have to take lactate to be able to enjoy it, which is a little weird. But how many other things do we never see and never question because they've served us okay in the past? The thing I love about Chambers' books is that they take our normal human experiences and they outsource them to other species, which make them seem sympathetic and understandable, no matter who they're happening to. She wraps them in stories where people and beings may have trouble The same kind of troubles that we have on Earth, but when you see them in other beings, you can see it in a different perspective. And I know that's what sci-fi has always done best, hasn't it? It's given us a different perspective besides the one we've grown up into. It creates worlds where we are stripped of the baggage we carry with us as racialized people, as gendered people, as denizens of the United States. And it creates a space where we can see ourselves from the outside looking in, where we are safe to climb out of those boxes that we've grown up in and think keep us safe. Now, this book has a collection of characters that might well stretch our assumptions. There's the LaRue family, Ulu and Tupo, who own the 5-stop one-hop, which is a kind of truck stop on a planet that mainly only exists as a stopover to somewhere else. Ulu is a single mom doing her best, and Tupo is an adolescent who responds with a glum antipathy to most requests, until a big space explosion over their planet disrupts everything and grinds it to a halt. As they're hosting some other sentient beings who had just stopped there for a moment, they're all stuck in this space by the disaster. And I'm going to invite all of my folks to come up here, and they're all going to do they're going to help act out these plays. There you go. Thanks so much. As they are hosting these other sentient beings stuck by the disaster, Ulu talks at one point about why she's decided to raise Tupo on this planet so far away from her own species. And so Ellen is going to share Ulu's words.
We don't use the term species towards ourselves. There are LaRue, and LaRue are just LaRue. Species are all the rest of you. You versus us. So Laura, our family, and species are friends, speaker asked? Yes, exactly. And I think that's wrong. We are here to benefit from all the rest of you, to learn everything we can and become part of your lives and follow your example. Then you must be blood and bone too. You must also be family. I wanted Tupo to understand that, to truly understand that, to give XYR a childhood full of nothing but other species. What better education than that? Speaker wonders if giving Tupo such an open experience of childhood, Exie will never understand the core beginningness of LaRue. It is a choice. What do we value?
Okay, you're done. It is a choice. What do we value? Ulu chooses to live her primary value of being open and inclusive rather than holding on to the traditional LaRue values. And we do that here sometimes, don't we? Many of us come to this congregation to give our kids a place to explore, to wonder rather than to lean into traditional faith paths, and to understand that many of us who did have something that we grew up holding on tightly let go of it as we got older anyway. We try to share values rather than dogma, and a sense of curiosity rather than creeds. Another viewpoint was brought forward by Pei, an Aluan, and one of the more privileged species in the galactic community. They are both beautiful to look at and social. And the Aluan have many mores, which Pei pushes back against because she's become involved romantically with, gasp, a human. Michael's going to read Pei's words.
You had to pause in the face of reflex. Ask yourself if the narrative you attached to the knee-jerk was accurate. Once she grasped this, she could never again see life as a static thing, something with one immutable definition. The universe was not an object. It was a beam of light, and the colors that it split into changed depending upon whose eyes were doing the looking. Nothing could be taken at face value. Everything had hidden facts, hidden depths that could be interpreted 1,000 ways or misinterpreted in the same manner. Reflexes kept a person safe, but they could also make you stupid.
I love that observation. Reflexes keep us safe, but they can also make you stupid, unable to see what really might be best. We see this in the world all around us, don't we? A reflex might be to close off, to circle the wagons, to pull back from people who are hurting or scared when we are hurting or scared. But you know, it's usually other people who are going to help us through the hardships of life. It is our relationships and our connection which bring us the comfort and the perspective we need in dark times. It's also true in more material pursuits. As members of this late-stage capitalist world, we are encouraged to buy our way to happiness, when the reality is often that it's the people with the least stuff who are the happiest. Our reflexes might tell us that acquiring more will help, but stopping and paying attention to our connection to the natural world might be the true path to respite and calm. Another voice from the book is Speaker. This sapient feels herself on the outside even of such a diverse group of beings because her experience has been so different. Her people do not breathe oxygen and have to exist out in the world in a mechanical suit. It boasts health with a different mobility and offers them safe to breathe because they don't breathe oxygen. Talk about a metaphor. Speaker wrestles with how much work it takes for her to fit into mixed species gatherings, things that none of the others even recognize, much less appreciate until near the end of the story. Vlad?
I can't always speak my mind, not if I want to get the things I need or go places I need to go. Everything I do, every word I say is calculated to make people comfortable, to make them respect me. None of it is a lie, but it is an act, and it's one that gets very, very tiring.
Thank you. I think we can imagine this perspective, no? Especially today with the push to move us back to 1957, a time when popular culture only recognized white people and everyone else got along the best they could. Finally, we have Rovig. Rovig might be the most challenging to soft-skinned sapiens because his features never change. His species became incredibly controlling at one point, dictating everything that its citizens were allowed to say or do or think. Living in his own values got him expelled from his country, blackballed, and never allowed to come back to visit his children or to experience the beloved sights and sounds of his home planet. Rovig is the most curious member of the group, always searching and starting out conversations to learn about his fellow travelers. He has his own challenges, but he is committed to learning and growing and becoming the fullest self possible. Here's 2 quotes from Rovig.
There was only one absolute to the universe Rovig was relatively sure of, and that was the fact that there were no absolutes. Life was fluid, gradient, ever-shifting. People, a group comprised of every sapient species, organic or otherwise, were chaos, and chaos was good. Chaos was the only sensible conclusion. There was no law that was just in every situation, no explanation that accounted for every component. This was the core belief of all Rovig did and said and made. He'd given up everything for it, and he would do so again. And convenience was morality's most cunning foe.
Thank you so much. The last member of the group was Tupo, the adolescent child of Ulu. I couldn't find a picture of Tupo. I imagine they looked a lot like Ulu. They were portrayed as an average kid, curious, thoughtful, sometimes resentful, very generous. And although they were noted to be 18 standard old, Zur had not yet chosen a gender because Leroux do not reach maturity until the age of 30. And their culture allowed the luxury of ambiguity, of only finally making a choice when it came time to reproducing. The interesting thing is Tupo is the one that brings everybody back together again when there's been a rift. In trying to be generous to Speaker and take them a piece of cake, Zur inadvertently gets stuck in a toxic atmosphere of the Speaker's ship, unable to breathe. The characters all find their way back into relationship through their shared care for this young Leroux. They didn't see things the same way. They didn't eat most of the same foods. They barely communicated through a really primitive universal language. But love brought them out of their defensive postures and helped them work together for a common goal. Love for the sweet, innocent being who brought themselves into harm's way through an act of generosity. Through all the conflicts and inability to empathize with one another, they were eventually able to find connection and eventually able to move from separateness to empathy to compassion and then to true connection. The denouement brings a lot of movement by all of the characters. Pei makes a decision based on input for somebody that she strongly disagreed with, but it brings her real peace. Ulu and Topu start ordering foods to stock at the one stop, so there will be plants that even Speaker can eat when her people come. And she starts learning traditional Akarak recipes from Speaker herself. Rovig invents a whole new hologram game designed specifically for Akarak so they can have the same kinds of gaming experiences that all the other species already did and be able to experience what it's like to be in all those different atmospheres without being inside a suit. This is a shift. It's a movement from being separate to empathetic to compassionate. Doing the work to not only understand, but to make choices and actions in alignment with the values they say they hold. What I love about stories like this is they offer us a pathway, but it's a carrot, not a stick. These folks don't move because they should. They move because they come to understand how much richer, engaged, and just fuller their lives will be if they open up beyond the narrow confines in which they'd always lived. It's something I wish for every single person in this room and the world beyond. We all have our edges that we can't see. We all have places where our reflex response is no, or ridiculous, or that doesn't make sense. Can we pause when we run into those reflexes and simply become curious? Can we wonder more than we judge? We might do that, and we might start practicing today over food in Atherton Hall after this service. Because good food does bring sentient beings together here and all throughout the universe. Amen. And blessed be.
10 years ago, when I started here, a little boy, well, he was never really little, but it was 10 years ago, came to me and said, "Can we have a children's choir?" And he started the whole thing. Today, he plays drums with us, while his father solos with the choir. What a great community. It's just so beautiful. Thanks to all of you, and all of you.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody he is traveling wrong, and my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. Then my
goodness, so beautiful. And wonderful, something to come right before our last words, because we lost a compassionate and intrepid spirit this week with the death of Jane Goodall at 91. We know her living was not in vain. And we will close with her words of gratitude. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make.
I have some exciting news. After 40 years, UUs have a new hymn book. And it's a virtual hymn book. Thus, we were passing out bits of music this morning for people who like to see music, and otherwise we will have words on the screen. But we don't know the hymn we're getting ready to sing, so Janice is going to play it so you can hear the tune, and then we'll sing it all together. Janice?
Please join me in saying our closing words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. And share with all the